Welcome back guys to another Vinland Saga video. Today we're going over the strongest in the series, in particular the top 6 strongest. If you enjoy these Vinland Saga videos, make sure to subscribe and join the Discord to talk more about its greatness. Now I hope you enjoy. So when I was first working on this video, I wanted to do a top 5, but I just couldn't leave out some character. So number 6 we have our boy Snake from the slave/farmland arc. So Snake is the Danish warrior who is employed by Ketil as the head of the farm's guards, and he considers quite strong. He challenged Thorfinn even though Thorfinn had no weapons to a match 2 times. Both times where Thorfinn was able to somewhat defeat him, but Snake didn't stand down whatsoever, and Thorfinn mentioned that he was very similar to Askeladd and considered maybe even stronger than Askeladd in speed, and speed that was close to Thorfinn. Thorfinn was able to dodge it, but it was still pretty close to him, and just based on their fight with Thorfinn questioning why someone like him at this power is doing on a farm, and the Snake question like him why someone like Thorfinn as slave is doing on this farm this strong. But during their battle, Thorfinn didn't have a weapon, but saying that, Snake showed promise, and I just had to put him in the top 6 strongest in Vinland Saga based on the comments Thorfinn made about him being resemblance to Askeladd's strength and power and so and so. So at rank 5 we have our boy Askeladd. So you may be questioning why I put him above Snake. Snake may be considered stronger and maybe even faster, but Askeladd's intelligence is far above Snake, and with that alone I think he'll be probably stronger in a one-on-one battle. He's considered a master swordsman, he's good at using ranged weapons, and he has extreme leadership skills, and he's an extremely good tactician as well. So putting all those into his build, he's a very strong opponent, and based on how he's able to quite effortlessly defeat young Thorfinn by enraging him to just easily counter him, and then his battle against Thors near the start of the manga or anime where he was able to land a hit on Thors, which is quite impressive, and able to pretty much outmaneuver him even though he had like an army with him. But still, having that battle with Thor showing that he's truly intelligent, and not many people can survive a one-on-one battle against Thor that easily. And it's also good to mention his age that he died at was 44, and for Snake, the age we last saw him, his age was 34, so he's probably a little bit older than that now based in the story. Now onto rank 3 we have Garm. Garm was the spear wielding fighter from the Baltic War arc, the arc that took after the farmland arc. So he had a one-on-one fight against Thorkel which ended up in a draw. But may be wondering why he's only 3rd if he ended up in a draw against Thorkel. Later on he had a first fight against Thorfinn where Thorfinn wasn't really fighting back, where he got shown to have a pretty intense speed advantage over Thorfinn, which is pretty impressive, and able to wound him with his spear. But that was mainly to the strangeness of his spear and how it's been crafted to catch people by surprise. And then on their later fight he was defeated by Thorfinn in a similar way where Thorfinn was defeated by Askeladd by enraging him, so he would come out without any real strategy and then do the same technique, flashback to Askeladd what he did to him with the headbutt, grabbing the arms and so and so. But rank 3 is a solid choice, able to stand one-on-one against Thorkel. It was stated that his type of fighting, so like speed-based fighting with trickery based in it, is what pretty much goes against Thorkel's way of fighting, or what counters him quite easily, and saying that he's still not able to defeat Thorkel in a one-on-one fight as Thorkel, or it ended in a draw. And if the fight continued even longer, I think Thorkel could have probably won the fight. But while saying that, he is quite similar to Thorkel as a whole. His whole character is very similar to him pretty much living for the want of battle and wanting to fight people that are stronger. That's why he wanted to fight Thorfinn, and then his fight against Thorkel all about him being stronger, and his age is 20 as well. And it's also considered by the other people, or Thorkel's men, that he may be a bastard son of Thorkel, just based on how much similar he is and how much love he has for fighting, which is similar to Thorkel's. As a whole, I probably consider him the fastest space speed character in the whole story. It could be argued that Thorfinn's stronger, but in my opinion, I think pure speed alone, Garm is the strong or fastest character, and that leads into his strength. And then his ability to use the spear while fighting is impressive as well. So rank 3 strongest in Vinland Saga, I went for our boy Thorfinn, or adult Thorfinn. So you may be questioning why he's 3rd only, but just hear me out. So his fight against Thorkel when he was younger, it was pretty much a 2-on-1 with Askeladd with, you know, big brain power helping him win, and then the light at the end. That's why he was able to somewhat defeat Thorfinn. He's probably the the second fastest character in the series. His intellect is getting up there to rival Askeladd, with him having that battle against Garm where they both used the same tactics that was once using him, that he used against Garm to win that fight. He has the overall second strongest. He's able to dual wield his fighting style. He's very good at knife throwing. He has probably one of the best durabilities in the whole story, being able to tank 100 blows without giving up from a direct 100 blows, just letting him punch, and probably the best reflexes in the story and being able to counter. And we saw his sheer power when he went into rage mode to take out Floki, or when he was about to kill Floki. He didn't, but just showed his true rage power and how much strength he does have apart from his reflexes and speed and everything else, along with his tactics and so on. So Thorfinn, Son of Force, solid third choice. Number 2, we have probably my personal favorite character in the story at this point. Maybe Askeladd will be number 1, but probably number 1 now is our boy Thorkell. So Thorkell's age right now is 58 in the story currently, and you know, Thorkell at all, it is an absolute Chad, you know. Had his fight against Thorfinn, has his fight against everyone, has his fight against Garm where it ended up in a draw, even though Garm was a direct counter for Thorfinn's fighting style, or Thorkell's fighting style I mean. An absolute Chad. He's known around the world as someone you just don't fuck with, simple as that. You just don't mess with our boy Thorkell. He does what he wants. He changes sides like so much during the wars just to have a fun battle. Like do the Baltic War, I don't even know how many times he changed that, like 3 or 4 times he just changed sides to, you know, have more fighting to do, to keep on fighting. And then after that, after all the fighting's done, do you know what Thorkell does? You know, he fights like a big monster bear all night just for some fun and ends up choking him out the end, which is like one of my favorite parts in the whole series. You know, this super Chad like that is Thorkell, is a solid second strongest in the story, simple as that. So number 1 as the strongest fighter, my opinion, in Vinland Saga. Make sure to leave your comments down below of your top 5 or top 6, or who you think is the strongest in the story. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your opinions. But my opinion of the strongest fighter thus far that we've seen in Vinland Saga, probably gonna be the strongest unless Thorfinn gets number 1, but Thors is probably the strongest in the whole story. He was able to rise up the ranks, become the commander, who was probably the strongest in the Jomsvik Vikings. I probably butchered that name, but the main Viking group in the story, giving him the name Troll of Jom. Absolute Chad. He bodied Askeladd in a one-on-one fight quite easy, which led to Askeladd using trickery to pretty much win. He was able to pretty much take out Thorkell, or defeated Thorkell in combat and knocked him out despite being unarmed, where Thorkell was armed with an axe to fight against him, showing his just sheer power and ability to fight, destroying everyone. And even the introduction to the story, or I don't know if about the start of the manga I mean, but the start of the anime, the first scene is him just rampaging on like Viking ships, jumping down, taking out like 40 to 50 people just like that. His age he died was 39, but based on that, how much importance he has to the stories as well, and importance to the protagonist Thorfinn as his father, Thor's the absolute chaddest of chads and the strongest character in my opinion in the story. And that's it guys, my top 6 strongest fighters in the whole story of Vinland Saga thus far. It may switch around for these 5, we may get a new character that may be introduced that could be rivaled at the top, but my opinion, currently chapter 171 I believe is the latest chapter. This is my top 6 strongest characters in Vinland Saga. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing if you're a fan of Vinland Saga. I plan to make much more content on this greatness, and that's it guys, peace.